Enter the Matrix Ghost Rider vs. Horror.
This is an absolutely epic crossover battle, pitting Ghost Rider against a gauntlet of iconic horror villains, especially going all out, no holding back, leans heavily in Ghost Rider's favor due to his unique powers and nature. Let's break down each matchup. Ghost Rider's core abilities, generally across various iterations, focusing on Johnny Blaze, Robbie Reyes type powers. Supernatural strength, durability, and speed, far beyond human, able to contend with high-tier Marvel characters. Hellfire manipulation, projects and controls hellfire, which burns the soul, not just the body. It's potent against supernatural beings. Chains of Elias, mystical chains that are nigh indestructible and can extend infinitely, often ensnaring and burning foes with hellfire. Penance Stare, his most potent weapon, forces the target to feel the pain of all the suffering they have caused to others, burning their soul. This is incredibly effective against beings that have caused immense suffering. Immortality, regeneration, highly resistant to damage, can regenerate from catastrophic injuries, and is fundamentally immortal. Soul manipulation, consumption, can sense, manipulate, and sometimes even consume souls. Resistance to mental or spiritual attacks, due to his demonic nature, he's highly resistant to illusions, mind control, and spiritual assaults. Interdimensional travel, can open portals to hell and other dimensions. Vehicular empowerment, his chosen vehicle, motorcycle, car, becomes supernaturally powerful and infused with hellfire. General considerations for the horror villains. Many of these villains operate on fear, psychological torment, or specific conditions for their attacks. Ghost Rider's nature as a spirit of vengeance makes him highly resistant to these tactics and uniquely equipped to exploit their sins. Round 1, Ghost Rider vs. Horror Villains, going all out, no holding back. This means Ghost Rider isn't holding back his demonic power, and the villains are at their most potent. 1. Ghost Rider vs. The Grudge, Kayako Saeki, Toshio Saeki. The Grudge's abilities, vengeful spirits of Kayako and Toshio, can haunt locations, manifest physically, cause psychological distress, and spread their curse. They kill anyone who enters their cursed space. Ghost Rider's advantage, Ghost Rider operates on a different plane of existence. He deals directly with souls and spiritual entities. Kayako and Toshio are spirits. Outcome, Ghost Rider would sense their tormented souls immediately. His hellfire would burn them on a spiritual level, which is far more effective than any physical attack. The Penance Stare would inflict unimaginable agony on them for their murders and for the torment they caused. Even if motivated by their own suffering, they are still spirits of malice. They are vengeful, but against a spirit of vengeance, they are outmatched. Ghost Rider's inherent resistance to spiritual attacks means their psychological haunting would be ineffective. Verdict: Ghost Rider wins, decisively. 2. Ghost Rider vs. The Ring, Samura Morgan, Sadako Yamamura. The Ring's abilities, a vengeful spirit whose curse spreads through a videotape, digital file. Kills viewers after 7 days via supernatural means, often by inducing a heart attack or extreme fear. Can manifest physically. Ghost Rider's advantage, again, a spirit. Samura's attacks are based on fear and a specific time delay curse. Ghost Rider is immune to fear and his supernatural nature bypasses the curse's mechanics. Outcome, Ghost Rider would not be affected by the tape or the curse. If Samura manifests, she's a spirit. Hellfire and the Penance Stare would be devastating to her, burning her soul for all the deaths and torment she's caused. Verdict: Ghost Rider wins, decisively. 3. Ghost Rider vs. Slenderman. Slenderman's abilities, a creature of myth and fear, often associated with stalking, abduction, especially of children, and inducing madness, illness in his victims. Can teleport, extend tendrils, and is often invisible or imperceptible to most. His presence causes slender sickness. Ghost Rider's advantage, Ghost Rider is immune to psychological attacks and madness. His supernatural senses would likely detect Slenderman even if he's trying to remain imperceptible. Slenderman preys on fear and vulnerable minds. Ghost Rider fears nothing and his mind is protected. Outcome, Slenderman's mind-warping effects would fail. Ghost Rider would pursue him relentlessly. If Slenderman's nature involves any form of malevolence or causing suffering, the Penance Stare would be catastrophic. Even if he's merely an existential threat, hellfire burns anything, and his chains could ensnare something as ethereal as Slenderman. Verdict: Ghost Rider wins decisively. 4. Ghost Rider vs. Freddy Krueger. Freddy's abilities: Demon of Dreams. Kills victims in their sleep. Can manipulate dream reality, possesses sharp claws, and regenerates within the dream world. Weak in the real world unless pulled out. Feeds on fear. Ghost Rider's advantage: this is where it gets interesting. Ghost Rider is a spirit of vengeance and his soul is inherently protected. He's also immune to psychological manipulation. Can he be killed in his sleep? Unlikely, given his demonic nature. Outcome: if Freddy tries to attack Ghost Rider in the dream world, he'd be met with a being that generates its own nightmare fuel, hellfire, and literally preys on sinners. The Penance Stare would be tailor-made for Freddy, who has caused immense suffering and derived pleasure from it. It would likely burn him to his core. If Freddy tries to pull Ghost Rider into the dream world, he's pulling in a being whose soul can't be touched by him. If Ghost Rider pulls Freddy into the real world, Freddy is severely weakened and easily dispatched with hellfire. Verdict: Ghost Rider wins decisively. 5. Ghost Rider vs. Pennywise. Pennywise abilities: Ancient, Cosmic Entity, Macroverse. Feeds on fear. Can shapeshift into victims' deepest fears. Can manipulate reality, cause illusions, and regenerate. True form is beyond human comprehension, dead lights. Ghost Rider's advantage: Ghost Rider is immune to fear and illusions. His cosmic nature, being empowered by a spirit of vengeance, an abstract entity, might put him on a level where Pennywise manipulation is less effective. The Penance Stare is a key here. Outcome: Pennywise illusions would fail. Ghost Rider would sense the immense evil and suffering Pennywise has caused. If Pennywise presents itself in a physical form, hellfire would burn it. The Penance Stare would be absolutely devastating to Pennywise, who delights in the suffering of children. It would be forced to experience eons of the terror and pain it inflicted, which could very well destroy its earthly manifestation or even harm its true form. Even if it retreats to the deadlights, Ghost Rider might have ways to pursue or inflict spiritual damage across dimensions. Verdict: Ghost Rider wins, high difficulty, but decisive. The Penance Stare is the ultimate counter. 6. Ghost Rider vs. Pinhead, Hellraiser. Pinhead's abilities: Cenobite, Demon of Pain and Pleasure. Highly intelligent, sadistic. Can manipulate chains, open portals to hell, torture souls, and is highly resistant to physical damage. Deals with sin and desire. Ghost Rider's advantage: this is a clash of hellish entities. Both deal with souls and punishment. Ghost Rider is a spirit of vengeance, Pinhead is a master of pain. Outcome: Pinhead's chains would meet Ghost Rider's, likely resulting in an intense struggle of mystical forces. Pinhead might try to inflict horrific pain, but Ghost Rider's nature makes him immune to such suffering in the traditional sense. The key is the Penance Stare. Pinhead has inflicted immeasurable pain and suffering on countless souls, reveling in it. The Penance Stare would utterly break him, forcing him to experience the totality of that agony. Even a Cenobite, a demon of pain, cannot withstand the Penance Stare's unique spiritual retribution. Pinhead's own demonic nature and history of tormenting others would be his downfall. Verdict: Ghost Rider wins decisively. 7. Ghost Rider vs. Candyman. Candyman's abilities: vengeful spirit tied to urban legend and belief. Appears when his name is spoken 5 times. Can summon swarms of bees, possesses a hook hand, and can haunt, terrorize victims. Regenerates and is immortal as long as his legend exists. Ghost Rider's advantage: a spirit with a history of causing harm. Immune to fear and psychological tricks. Outcome: Ghost Rider isn't scared. Speaking Candyman's name 5 times would only serve to summon him for a fiery confrontation. Candyman's physical attacks and bees would be useless against Ghost Rider's durability and hellfire. The Penance Stare would inflict the suffering of his victims back on him, burning his soul. While his legend might keep him from truly dying, his spiritual manifestation would be utterly defeated and banished. Verdict: Ghost Rider wins decisively. 8. Ghost Rider vs. the Jinn, Wishmaster. The Jinn's abilities: Ancient demonic entity. Feeds on souls, grants wishes but twists them to cause harm and damnation, growing stronger with each soul collected. Can manipulate reality to a degree through wishes. Ghost Rider's advantage: deals with souls and demonic power. The Jinn is a literal demon. Ghost Rider's powers directly counter soul manipulation and demonic entities. Outcome: the Jinn's tricks involving wishes would be ineffective against Ghost Rider, who wouldn't make a wish and isn't easily manipulated. The Jinn has caused immense suffering and damnation by twisting desires and collecting souls. The Penance Stare would be an absolute nightmare for the Jinn, forcing it to experience the agony of all the souls it condemned. Hellfire would burn its demonic essence. Verdict: Ghost Rider wins decisively. 9. Ghost Rider vs. The Leprechaun. The Leprechaun's abilities: malicious, magical creature obsessed with gold. Possesses various magical powers, superhuman strength, and near mortality, can be killed by specific items like a four-leaf clover, but regenerates otherwise. Ghost Rider's advantage: the Leprechaun, while magical and resilient, is a mischievous creature, not a cosmic horror or a master of spiritual torment. Outcome: the Leprechaun's tricks and minor magic would be utterly irrelevant to Ghost Rider. Hellfire would burn him. The Penance Stare would probably make him feel the suffering of anyone he ever maimed or killed in his quest for gold, which would be enough to utterly break him. He'd be no match for Ghost Rider's sheer power and spiritual nature. Verdict: Ghost Rider wins decisively. 10. Ghost Rider vs. Jason X, Uber Jason. Jason X's abilities: Jason Voorhees in the future, with a significantly upgraded, nigh-indestructible cyborg body, Uber Jason. Possesses immense superhuman strength, durability, and a relentless, unyielding pursuit. Can survive in space. Ghost Rider's advantage: while Jason X is incredibly tough physically, is still fundamentally a zombie, a cyborg. He has no spiritual defenses. His past actions are filled with immense suffering. Outcome: Jason X's physical strength and durability would be impressive, but Ghost Rider's hellfire burns on a spiritual level, bypassing physical defenses. The Penance Stare would be absolutely horrific for Jason, forcing him to relive every single murder, every moment of terror he inflicted. Even Uber Jason's advanced physiology wouldn't protect him from a direct assault on his soul. Ghost Rider would sense the endless tally of his victims and deliver the ultimate vengeance. Verdict: Ghost Rider wins decisively. Overall conclusion: Ghost Rider is an absolute nightmare for almost every horror villain, especially those who derive their power from fear, dreams, or have a long history of inflicting suffering. His Penance Stare is the ultimate counter to most of these characters, as it directly attacks their soul with the suffering they caused. His hellfire burns them on a spiritual level, bypassing their physical or even ethereal defenses. His immunity to fear and illusions makes many of their primary tactics useless. The only potential challenge comes from entities like Pennywise, who are cosmic in scale, but even then, Ghost Rider's abstract power set provides the perfect counter. Pinhead is a fascinating matchup of hellish beings, but Ghost Rider's specific brand of vengeance, particularly the Penance Stare, is lethal even to a Cenobite. Ghost Rider absolutely sweeps this gauntlet.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.